Where were you on September 11th, 2001? Maybe you were at work or school, out with your friends, or at the grocery store. Almost everyone remembers where they were that day, because that's the day the terrorists attacked this country. That evening, after it was all over with, President George W. Bush addressed his nation. His words that evening provoked the American people to stand together to get through such a horrendous event. President Bush made it clear to not only the citizens of this country, but to the entire world that these cowardly acts of terror were not going to be tolerated in any way, shape, or form. The president's speech evoked great sadness at the loss of his citizens and anger towards those responsible. The expressed sorrow by the President Bush demonstrated to the American people his love and commitment to this country. President Bush vowed that he would do anything in his power to ensure the victims and their families receive justice. That these acts of terror brought the nation not only sadness, but of quiet, unyielding anger. President Bush's speech to the nation brought a great many things. It caused the American people to unite as one. It caused great support for those who had lost someone in the attacks. New York and the Pentagon were slowly rebuilt, and memorials were created. Our allies stood behind us, helping to bring those responsible to justice, such as Al-Qaeda leaders that went into hiding, trying to evade the armed forces that were going to hunt each and every one of them down. President Bush's speech had a profound effect on me. I grew angry at those who would kill innocent people for their own agenda in the name of their God. I felt great sorrow for those who had lost loved ones. And as a medical professional, I felt helpless because these victims were beyond any help I could provide. Most families were not even given remains because these people just didn't exist anymore. President Bush's speech to the American people on September 11th of 2001 gave us the strength we needed to get through one of the most difficult times this country has faced. This speech put on notice all of those who would do this country harm, that any act of terror against our country would not be tolerated. The President's words evoked great emotion in me. I felt sorrow, I felt anger, and I felt helpless. This speech is a lasting piece of rhetoric due to the magnitude of the attack, the President's vow to bring those responsible to justice, and the toll the attack had on our country. To put it in perspective, New York Magazine stated that 2,753 New Yorkers lost their lives that day. 1,402 were in Tower 1, 614 were in Tower 2, 343 firefighters and paramedics, 23 NYPD officers, 2,108 were killed in Operation Enduring Freedom. President Bush used a great many techniques in his speech. According to Toastmasters, he used silence as an effective tool to indicate what he said was of importance. The use of language to provoke an intended response to the subject matter he was discussing. He was direct of his intentions from the start of the speech. All of these techniques I can use in my presentations to better connect with my audience and leave a lasting effect.